What is up, guys? It is your boy King here tonight. I'm back with another video. Now, as you can see, we are back with 6 Omegle horror stories animated. We got story 4, we got story 5, we got story 6, and then we have a bonus story. So I will try not to talk too much in this episode. I know I did talk a lot the last time, so I'll try to keep that to a minimum. So let's get into it.
Some of you may have heard of this website called omegle.com. If you haven't, it's a chat website people go to when they're bored, and it's anonymous. It's up to you to give out any of your information, but you can easily get out of a conversation and move on to talk to a new person with a click. Around 2012, I went on this website a lot as I got lonely, and I've had some nice conversations on there before. I was 16 at the time. This is where I met Emily. She was this funny girl who was so easy to talk to, and right away I felt like we had been friends forever, so I gave her my Skype and all my details so that we could talk again. Pretty soon, we were talking all day, every day, for a few months over Omegle. She said she was from Wales, which I thought was so cool. I've never met anyone from Wales. I thought she was the best friend I ever had. We talked about everything going on in our lives. She would tell me crazy stories about the things she'd done with her friends, and we'd talk about relatable girl stuff, and I would wake up to Photoshop pictures of us and cats and some bad pun written on it about us being best friends forever, or something.
I don't even know if I have to say anything to that. I'm just gonna mind my business.
Stupid like that. We texted all the time, but I wanted to actually call her or video, but she told me she had gotten into an argument with her stepdad recently, and he threw her laptop at the wall and it broke the camera. Right, well, I thought maybe she can text on Skype and I'll be on video and voice just so she can see me. Why not, right? When we did, she wouldn't stop going on about how jealous she was of me and told me to stop being so beautiful, and it flattered me. I thought she was gorgeous in her pictures, and it was silly of her to be jealous of me at all. Emily was kind of a clingy kind of girl, as she wanted my attention all the time and would get upset if I fell asleep or didn't respond fast enough. She also started making strange comments about her body, like saying how she thinks she has an ugly vagina, and is worried about it, and called it a coin slot.
Okay, so this is obviously like I'm a guy, so I don't know about that, but I don't no dude talks to another man about his. So like I don't know, do girls talk about that? Like I don't know if that's weird. I think it's weird. I don't know, man.
And she'd asked if I'd look at it and tell her if it's weird, for which I would just tell her I'm sure it's fine, don't worry about it.
Nope.
She said, I bet yours has sparkles and magic. I could feel she was trying to get a picture of me. I didn't do it. I changed the subject. Emily would talk about the guy that works at her market and how she had a big crush on him, but was too awkward to say anything. I encouraged her through that time to talk to him, and eventually she got the nerve and asked him out. The night she told me this, I remember her asking this question out of the blue. If I was a guy, what name do you think I'd have? Suddenly, I had this sinking feeling inside reading this as I realized I never heard her voice or saw her in a video. She could actually be a guy this whole time.
People don't understand. It's that easy to pretend to be somebody. Like you don't trust people. Don't trust people.
Could she though? Nah, she's just trying to scare me. She tries to get reactions all the time, and her photos add up to everything she talks about. I've got nothing to worry about, right? I decided to join in. John? Or I was hoping you would say Jacob. That's weird. But once again, I thought she was just being her weird self, and we moved on to talking about other things. I did tell her she almost scared me though, and she laughed and apologized. One night comes along, and we're talking as normal. She asked me what state I lived in. I told her because I thought maybe she wanted to see what it looked like compared to where she lives on Google or something. Then she goes, "You're only 500 miles from me." I say, "No, you're not." She says, "Yes, I go to..." I look up this school, and sure enough, it's in Alabama. But you can easily just look for a school on Google Maps, so I thought she was just making stuff up to get more.
But why would dude? I don't. Oh, this story is so confused. So, it's a girl who. So she said she's from Wales. So she's pretending to be from a whole different country, but she actually knows.
More reactions. She says that she fixed her camera and we can do video chat tonight if I wanted to. I said yes. I was excited. We had talked for 2 months and I finally get to see her instead of pictures and texts.
You've talked to somebody for 2 months. You haven't FaceTimed. You haven't even heard their voice yet. 2 months? 60. Nah. Nope.
I get all set up in the living room and call her. She answered. You know when you feel frozen with fear and time feels slow? That first second, when I saw him, I thought maybe that's her brother or friend and she's going to move the camera to her. Nope, it's just him. While I'm frozen and speechless, he picks up one of his laptops and signs in as Emily to show me that he's been doing this the whole time. He doesn't say anything. He then pulls out a camera and points it towards me. I finally told myself to end the call before he takes a picture. Why did he take his camera out? I don't know, but I try to process everything while my heart is pounding, and even though he may not be near me physically, it was still very creepy and disturbing to me. I pulled myself together and decided to try and get some answers. I wrote him a simple why. And he says, I was dared to by my friends to pretend I was a girl on omegle, but I thought you were really cool, so I kept it up. I stopped talking to the other guys though. I just wanted to keep talking to you. Guess what his name was? Jacob. He was 21 and he's from Alabama. I couldn't understand how he kept up with his fake life of Emily every day and even had pictures to make it all seem so legitimate. It was almost like Emily was real and died that night. This girl in these pictures, who were they? The strange thing is, sometimes I feel like she's still out there, but I know she doesn't exist. I'm a very young female in the 6th grade.
Come on, sir. Come on, sir.
I was naive and stupid. I kind of still am, so please don't leave me a lecture about internet safety. Truth is, I know it all already, but I chose to do this. I'm aware it was a dumb decision, and this will never ever happen again. Okay, so let's begin.
Where are you zooming in on? Where are you zooming in on?
I was bored over this past winter vacation, and was on the tablet I got for Christmas along with a Bluetooth keyboard. But I didn't want to go to sleep. I remember recalling watching many prank videos on YouTube on this site called Omegle. If you don't know what Omegle is, it's a free website with a safe PG version for 13-plus-year-olds and another inappropriate version for inappropriate purposes. For some pedophilic reason, guys still prefer to go on the safe version to show girls their anaconda. This site keeps you anonymous for safety purposes and doesn't recommend you give out personal information. Being stupid me, I figured, hey, might as well talk to strangers at midnight. What could go wrong?
A lot of things.
The answer to that question is a lot. I learned that the hard way. This was the second time in a row I've used Omegle. On January 2nd, late at night or early in the morning, I went on and in my interest box I entered 5 sauce. It was quite a few chat logs in when I saw a girl who said she was 13. I already knew this person was a simulator. I should have left, but I didn't. Basically, this girl was asking personal information. I faked it all except for my age, shamefully. She said, "Cool, I'm
12.
13. I'm only a year older than you." She kept urging me to show her my naked body, as she did too. Of course, I refused, and of course, this creepy pedophile got mad. Apparently, this person had been recording me the whole time on his computer. He played it on his screen, leaving me to watch myself drinking out of my water bottle, an image that can easily be photoshopped into something really inappropriate. I remember watching it and telling him that he was sick, to which he simply responded no. Being the smartest person in the world, I didn't leave the freaking chat. Instead, I got my phone, continued making talk with him, and recorded him threatening me. He told me that if I didn't show myself indecently, he'd take the recordings and edit it in an inappropriate video. When I said no, he told me I had two choices. 1, to show myself nude, or 2, to relieve his bathroom fetish. Because I didn't respond, he thought I didn't know what it was, and so he told me. I didn't respond once again. So he left, leaving me with the message, "I guess you made your choice then. Bye." At first, I thought absolutely nothing of it, telling myself, he's not smart enough to do that. But the more I thought about it, the more I freaked out. I cried silently, as I didn't want my dad and his friend to hear me next door in his room. I posted the videos on my private Instagram that I wasn't allowed to have, my only followers being people from my school that I knew. I asked for help. Luckily, only a small amount of people were online, like 2, so I spared myself some embarrassment at school, as only one person from there saw it. The other was my 13-year-old stepsister. Val, the girl who saw it, took a screenshot of it and messaged me, asking what was wrong. I told her, and she said I should call the police. Hesitantly, unfortunately, I had to call the police. The dispatcher was very nice, but when the police came, the lady that was there was not. She lectured me, and then she left. She said she was unable to make an arrest as I was allowing him to do this to me, like I wanted it or something. Of course, I showed them the videos. My dad said he was disappointed, and long story short, I was grounded from everything. I barely just got my tablet on Easter after 83 days. My phone and broken iPod are still taken away. I hate omegle.
Okay, so I can see kind of, like when someone says, "Hey, I'm going to do this to you," and then you don't leave. But at the same time, that dude should definitely, like, gone to prison or something. But it would have been hard because you don't have a picture or video of him. So you don't know who they are, right?
Number 1. A year or two ago, I was one of those guys that went on Omegle looking for sex. So yeah, I was a bit of a creeper. I used to chat and then talk on emails and kick, normally ending in sexting or something like that. I made sure that they were always under 16, as I was 15 at the time. 16 is legal where I am, and I avoided getting others in trouble. One day, I found someone on Kick, and we kicked it off, pardon the pun, and we chatted a lot. I found out she was from where I lived, and I was overjoyed at this point. At that time, she told me she was 22, or around that age. Now, I think I may have been the biggest retard possible, and I said I was 16. We talked about meeting for a while, and one day she talked about sex. Now, I never used to send anything except shirtless, which to be honest isn't impressive at all, for obvious reasons. This time, I did decide to send more private pics. I got pics back and it looked pretty genuine, so we kept going on. We chatted more, and one day she dropped a bombshell. She said she was actually in a relationship, but they were looking at a threesome. Now, as a horny teenager, I took whatever I could get and said okay. It was at this point that she apparently showed and shared the emails with her boyfriend. I got lots of chats about what was going to happen and stuff, and I was pretty excited, to be honest. At this point is where both of them both asked if I had ever thought or done bi stuff. I was creeped out a little but simply said no to both and told them I was straight. To start with, they said okay, but they kept coming back and asking if I was sure. At this point, I thought I would feel very unsafe and uncomfortable to meet them or even chat, and so I told them that. Now this is where it gets creepy. I was told to stop, and I got spammed with emails giving me a lot of sexual and normal abuse. I ignored all the emails. I got scared but thought nothing of it. It was one day when I got texts and missed calls of the same kind of abuse that I got creeped out. I had never given my number to them, nor had I told anyone.
That's why you never send pictures to anyone. Anyone. Ever. It's dumb. Don't do it.
About what was going on. So it was them. But how? I got texts saying that they were going to send my photo to my parents, post it to all my friends if I didn't do what they asked. I was petrified. I was going to phone the police, but I thought I could get in a lot of trouble for that. I asked what they wanted. Then I found out that it was most definitely a single guy this whole time. He said if I didn't perform gay sex on him, then he would do what he threatened. At this point I said, "I'm underage, I'll have you arrested for child pornography." He didn't believe me. I also mentioned it was blackmail. He then threatened to hurt me, to which I replied, "You don't know where I live." He then told me a road which I lived on. I claimed he was wrong, but he wasn't persuaded. I ignored everything for a good month. I purposefully took long routes home from school and never went out by myself, ever. I locked everything in my house when I was by myself. I deleted my email, chopped up my SIM card, and made sure I never had long hair again so he wouldn't recognize me. I lived in fear for around half a year before I got over it. I only told a handful of close friends for safety. It just shows you can't trust anyone online, and it's not wise to be on there for the purpose I was on there for, especially when you're underage.
No one really understands just how dangerous social media can.
I love this dude's voice. God. I'm gonna have to react to some of this stuff too.
Be. It really is such a different world where anyone can be whoever they want. I was 16 years old at the time that this story happened. I was always on MySpace. You know, typical teenager stuff. I'd get a few messages here and there. There was this one kid though who would constantly send me messages. I would reply sometimes. Typical hello, what's up, that kind of thing. I thought nothing of it. One day me and my friend, let's call her Hannah, was walking around the city, per usual. We had stopped in this complex building that was near my house just to take a break. We were sitting on the stairs when some guy came up behind us and said to Hannah,
"Hey, do you have a lighter?"
She says no, and he walks away. Then about 15 minutes later, he comes back and then just stood behind me. I start to see in my peripheral vision a hand movement. So I turned a little more around, and I saw his hand in his pants moving up and down while facing me. My heart instantly went into my stomach. I started writing on my phone in a text to Hannah, and I said that I think he's touching himself. We both felt stuck. He then sat down next to Hannah, and he was so close he was actually touching her arm. I pretended to be on the phone so that maybe he would leave.
Run!
He looks at Hannah, then goes,
"Is her name Nadia?"
Hannah was instantly scared, and she then blurted out,
"Ask her yourself."
But I was still pretending to be on the phone. About 5 minutes later, the security guard had walked around and had then said hello to us, then talked to the kid. Let's call him Antonio. "Hey, what's up, Antonio? You hanging with these ladies tonight?" I knew that help had to be written all over my face. Why can't he see it? The security guard then says, "Well, if I hear of 2 white girls that go missing, I guess I know who to call." At this point, I'm starting to feel more sick than I already did. The security guard then left, and yet Hannah and I are still sitting there feeling more stuck than ever. A few minutes later after this, one of his friends comes along and then says, "Wanna come inside?" I finally have enough energy to say no, and that I have to go meet up with my cousin. As we start to stand up, Antonio's friend stands up in front of me and then says, "Come on, just for a little bit." I said no, and then me and Hannah started walking towards the exit, as my house is right up the hill. And what do you know? They both start following us. We get inside this tunnel, and Hannah says to take off your shoes so that we can run, and that we don't want them hearing where we go. So there we are barefoot, now running like our lives depended on it. We get onto my street, run up to my house, go into the back hallway. It was actually so quiet, all I could hear was myself trying to catch my breath, and my heart just beating in my ears. I started looking at Hannah scared, just hiding behind a wall, staring at the glass door, waiting to see if someone would pop up. We did eventually calm each other down. I thought everything was over until the next morning when I logged into MySpace. I had a message from him that then said,
I just want you to know I know what house you live in.
with my street name listed. I then blocked him on MySpace, and I never walked past that complex ever again. A few weeks later, I actually found out that he was in jail, and from what I know now at 25 years old, he's still in jail. I can only imagine what he did, but I just really hope to never run into him. Well, again, that is.
And okay, that's a awesome site. No, so I'm gonna go. So that is the end of this video, guys.
Each other down.
I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you guys did, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. To get this video to 25 likes, because you guys destroyed the last like goal. If you get this video to 25 likes, I will make a scary video. I already have a scary gameplay coming in, so don't worry about that. That will be my next upload. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Already said that. Catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.